right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Red, White, and You Show. Today, I have with me Dan Newberry. So, a lot of times I have a wider range of different guests that are on the show, and Dan's no different. Coming from a military background and then weaving in his fitness and his message into this. But I'm going to let Dan explain all of that to you guys. But Dan, welcome to the Red, White, and You Show.
Well, thanks for having me, Dean. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. So share with the listeners a little bit, Dan, who Dan Newberry is, and a little bit of your journey up until this point.
Yeah. So I'm an Army veteran, served almost 9 years, started my military career in Fort Stewart, Georgia. I was with the 3rd Infantry Division, 164. Did 2 combat deployments out of there, and then PCS'd up to Fort Richardson, Alaska, which is now called J-Bear. So I was with the 425 Airborne Brigade up there, in 140 Cav, and that's where I finished my military career, where I was medically separated for back issues. From there, I was kind of like your typical, stereotype, veteran transition story. I got out, had some struggles for about first 3.5 years, and then there's some things that happened in there, and I ended up kind of picking myself back up, became a huge mental health advocate within the community, not only for the veteran community, but just for our communities as a whole. And then from there, I established 22 Fitness, which was a free fitness class dedicated to serving the vet community to help with military transition. So it's much like a group exercise class that you would do Monday morning PT. So it's all in cadence and it's open to everyone. So
Rewinding a little bit, Dan, you talked about transitioning out, and I know a lot of veterans, myself included, almost trying to find your own identity. And then, of course, dealing with some of the, traumas or whatever that you experience from overseas. Would you feel comfortable sharing a little bit about that?
Yeah. I think the more you share a story, I think the more you could help people. So I have no problem, sharing. When I got out, it was a very hard transition, and primarily because, I went through a phase of where I felt like I lost my identity, for several years, and I joined at a very young age. I joined at 19 years old. And, so it was an identity thing, and then plus the experiences that I had in combat. And so you mix that together. So you have post-traumatic stress disorder, and now you're feeling alienated and alone in the very communities you grew up in. So it was hard. It was hard for me to find work. It was hard for me to assess my value and what I could contribute to society. So in July of 2015, after 3 years, because I got out in August of 2012. So for about 3 years, I struggled. And July 2015, I was done. I had made the decision that I was going to end my life, and at the time I was working in the funeral business as an apprentice embalmer, and it was a tough job itself. And so I was living in a funeral home in this 2-bedroom apartment, maybe $4 to my name, and I decided I was going to take a bunch of Flexerol, and before I did that, I started sending some text messages out to loved ones, and the police intervened, and I'm still here. But it was the drive to the VA in the police car that kind of offered perspective. The police officer said to me, he's like, you're worth more than the uniform you wore yesterday. And that was a really powerful statement, more than that young officer realized. So yeah, it was tough. It was tough. And it's been a long road to get where I'm at now and to share the message I'm at now. You see my footprint on social media, I'm just a clown. I like to have a good time. And
right.
But same token, I like to influence others to see their value and to understand that your darkest chapter is not your last chapter. So.
That's good. And you shared too that, talking about being a clown in a sense, do you find a sense in a bit of healing in keeping things light and maybe not as serious?
I do. I think the more you get into the woods on things, you know what I mean?
Right.
You're gonna lose perspective. I think if you can step back, use a little bit of humor, and look at everything as at a 1,000-foot view,
Right.
it gives you an ability to have foresight.
Mm,
It gives you the ability to see 5 steps ahead instead of the right one.
right. Right. What is something that you found personally? I know that you shared that you got sought help through the VA, but what was something that specifically um, that you found that really helped you in your journey?
Well, and that was something that I was identified when getting treatment at the VA, and I was very fortunate to have an outstanding doctor, and that would allow me to work through my problems, but he would offer the platform.
Mm,
And the one thing identified was physical fitness, um, and there's I don't even need to go into like the proof behind why physical fitness is important. I think we all
right.
know.
Right.
And I think we do know that's a natural antidepressant and so on and so forth. But when I started exercising again, and I just started going to a gym, I was going to like Planet Fitness, and I throw my headphones on, and it was like this form of active meditation. And
Mm,
for that hour and an hour and a half I was there, I was able to sort out all the noise in my head, if you will. And then I started meeting people in the gym, and then I started making new friends, and then next thing I know, I'm doing a 22-mile walk in 2016 to raise awareness for suicide prevention, because just on that time that I was getting my gears back, I lost my own brother to suicide.
oh man.
So
Was your
it was physical fitness that got me through that.
was your brother, did your brother serve in the military as well or no?
No, my brother did not serve. However, he wanted to serve. It was one of his goals, but he had a learning disability that enabled him from serving. So that was a big contributing factor to his depression, and the way he felt about himself.
Mm. One of the things that you're talking about, the how step deeper down that fitness rabbit hole, I guess we could call it. Talking about 22 Fitness Foundation, and then Lift for 22. Can you share a little bit about? And obviously, this is kind of, we're leading up into the birth of this, but how did that all come about?
Yeah, so that was actually two planets colliding, actually. Just as I had thrown a fundraiser for Lift for the 22, we did a charity workout for them. My 22 Fitness class did. And at the time, I was in the process of incorporating 22 Fitness and becoming a 501c3, that becoming its own entity. At the same time, I was asked to collaborate and work with and combine with Lift for the 22. So actually, 22 Fitness never really, the actual legal entity never really took off. So we were maybe in our own separate organization for like a month, and then I decided that, you know what, let's do the right thing here. We're all here for the same mission. Let me work with you guys. And so 22 Fitness became the fitness class that was like the catalyst to bring the communities together to support Lift for the 22, if you will. So it's been a crazy journey how that all came about. And then Carter Davers, who was the founder, asked if I would be willing to take the reins of the organization as he was moving on into a new chapter of his life, building a family and becoming a nurse in Chicago. So, hats off to him. He did an amazing thing by standing up this organization in 2015, and he gave me the keys, and here we are.
Very cool. So talk about a little bit, if you would, go back to 22 Fitness and the concept of that. And then kind of if you could go into really what Lift for the 22 Fitness Foundation does. It was really fascinating. You were talking
Sure.
about it because I want to tie in your journey. Like you were saying in Planet Fitness, you noticed you were networking and meeting people. I think that's a great segue into the 22 Fitness or Lift for the 22 or 22 Fitness.
Sure. So the 22 Fitness class, we're doing this exercise class, and when I started it, the premise behind it is I wanted to bring veterans together that were like-minded, maybe had the same struggles. And in March 2017, when I started the class, it was like 5 of us on a racquetball court in this little gym in Greenfield, Wisconsin. And within about 3 or 4 months, it just blew up. It got to the point where we couldn't fit in that gym anymore. And I moved over to a friend of mine. He had owned a CrossFit box called Field Fitness in Oak Creek. And we had moved over there. The very first class we did there, we had about 150 people in that class.
Wow.
Yeah. So that, and then from there, every time I've done a large class there or a special type of class, it's an amazing turnout, an amazing level of support from the community. While on this journey, I came across Lift for the 22 a couple times, and then I received a message from Carter, the founder, and that's just a testament to what that organization, what 22 Fitness did. It led me to meeting like-minded veterans, really setting me on a path for doing what I'm passionate about, and that was serving the community. So we ended up meeting, and I ended up doing the charity workout for them. And then once I combined 22 Fitness with Lift for the 22, Lift for the 22 is a nonprofit organization that provides gym memberships for veterans. So our whole goal is to raise money to help veterans get back in the gym for a year.
Nice.
So it could be any. So yeah. So it could be any gym too. It could be a Planet Fitness or something of their choice. And and I found that mission so important because that is what got me into a place where I was able to heal, was simply just getting back into the gym. So if we can provide that service, that tool to a veteran that truly needs it, then I feel like, my job is being done,
Right.
So.
Very cool. So what is, I guess something, what is on the docket now for Lift for 22? What are some of the stuff that you guys got coming up?
Well, I can tell you that the pandemic has definitely hurt us.
Okay.
But I think it's important to know when to pivot. And I didn't know, unlike when I got out, I didn't know how to adjust or change. Well, I've learned a few lessons here.
Right.
I work really closely with the Wisconsin Veterans Chamber of Commerce. And it's an organization that provides professional services to vets. So when the pandemic hit, I realized that gyms are closed, but how can we still help the vet community? So we launched a fund in where a lot of gyms are owned by vets. So we launched a fund where we can raise money, and then come June 1st, we will divvy out the money that we've raised to these veteran-owned organizations that were impacted by the pandemic. And then the second thing I have going on coming up is every year I do a 22-mile walk. It's the same 22-mile walk that I started in 2016 to raise awareness for veteran suicide and mental health issues. And I'm still going to do the walk. So regardless, I'm still allowed to walk outside. So I'm going to probably just do it alone this year. However, I need to get up off the couch and start training. Otherwise, I'm not going to make it. But I'm still going to do it. And we're going to, appropriate the money that we raise, back into the mission and helping vets in the community. So that's really it right now. This is a very weird time for us. So it's provided an opportunity for me to kind of sit back and reevaluate what direction we need to go. I can tell you that at the end of the year, we have quite a bit coming up. You asked me before the show if I about my boxing career.
Yeah.
I am going to be involved with Pure Fighting Championship, and we're going to be doing some fundraising with them through charitable fights. And you may or may not see me in the cage at the end of the year.
Very cool. Very cool. Did I see something too? Does Reebok sponsor you guys at all, or how does that work?
No, that's me as an individual.
Okay.
Not associated with Lift for the 22 or anything like that.
Okay. All right. So do they sponsor you individually, or?
It's an affiliation, so it's a little bit different than a sponsorship. So affiliates, you get it's like anything else. You get a percentage of anything you sell.
Sure.
From your channels. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Cool. Well, Dan, if they want to check out Lift for the 22 or the foundation, how do they do that?
So yeah, everything runs through Lift for the 22, and that's www.liftforthe22.org. You can go on there and find all the information. Our primary fundraising platform is Facebook. So you can always go on there. We encourage people, if they want to get a gym membership from us, to run a fundraiser. So that way it's a little bit of you scratch my back, I scratch yours, and it shows that level of commitment to the organization.
And you're in Wisconsin, so is this typically when you work with veterans? Is it just in the Wisconsin or your area?
No. In fact, we do everything nationally. Yes, I'm out of Wisconsin, but we help veterans on a national scale. Right now, our heaviest footprint is in Wisconsin because I'm here and it's easier to network. However, every year I would have been on tour right now. Actually, I would have been in Florida most likely.
Nice.
But we so every year I do take this on the road. We'll go to a local gym within a community. We'll host an event, and we invite all the veteran resources to come in and mental health resources to come in and pitch their services and offer their services to anybody that participates. While we're there, the money that we raise, we turn around at that gym and we buy gym memberships at that gym for X amount of veterans, however much we raise. So we want to be able to put back into that business that's hosted us. So
nice.
So yeah, we help nationally. So
very cool. That is very cool. So
it's a lot to manage because I'm alone in the fight.
Sure. And have you guys thought about, or is on the docket, are you guys planning on doing any virtual workouts where they can where they pay through PayPal or something like that? Is that in the works as well?
Yeah. Every Monday, I host a Facebook Live fitness class, and it's got the donation link down in there that, raising money for, and anybody can participate. I don't charge. The one thing about the 22 fitness class is it started as free, and it will always be free as long as I can physically do it.
Nice. Very cool. And it's important to reiterate that you don't have to be a veteran to take the class, correct?
No, not at all. And in fact, when I started the class, I had a small veteran population that participated. I had maybe 3 or 4 vets, and then it was more of the civilian population because they felt strongly about supporting the veteran community, and that's actually been probably one of the biggest strengths for this program has been the civilian population. So I can't thank them enough for their empathy towards our community.
Well, that's great. And of course, obviously, and the veterans. Yeah. So nationwide, that speaks volumes. So, well, Dan, thanks so much for being a guest today on today's show. And, obviously thank you for your service, but thank you what you continue to do now is serving out of uniform, and thanks for deciding to making the decision to stick around on this earth so you can bless other veterans and other community members, but you're making a difference, brother. So thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much for having me on here. I was definitely looking looking forward to this. Quarantine has not been fun, so this has been my biggest plan in 37 days.
Well, you're more than welcome, and we appreciate you being a guest on today's show.
Thank you so much.